weekly metal reviews here, continuing the Alice in Chains discography with Jar of Flies. This came out in 1994. It's a 7-track EP. If my knowledge serves me correctly, this was the first EP to ever hit #1 to Billboard 200.
I don't know about all that stuff. I never really checked.
It did hit #1. I'm not sure if it was the first. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah. Let's get into it.
First of all, it's by Alice in Chains.
That
you
is-
didn't know that, did you?
Oh.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to go through all the tracks, but I'm just going to give you the gist of it. Rotten Apple is very,
Underrated.
it fits the name very much. Like the whole feel of the song. It's really cool song. It's one of those really catchy songs, just like Nutshell, very depressing. I Stay Away, that song, I love that song, man. You probably heard of that song. Nutshell, I know, is definitely on the Unplugged. Same with No Excuses. Don't Follow, that's one of the best songs I've ever heard. Of all time, not just by this band, of all time. Swing on This is a little weird, in my opinion. It's a little, I don't know. I like it, it's just like, everything else is so like, cool and sort of depressing and really downish, and that song is just, I never really thought it like fit in like completely, but it's still a cool song. And I guess I'm gonna go through every track. Whale and Wasp, that's an awesome instrumental. Reminds me of like a whale, like just the way Jerry plays the guitar. It's just like this whale song sort of thing going on there. No Excuses, that song always makes me really happy, just because Sean Kinney playing the drums. That song always makes me so fucking happy. If you ever watch the Unplugged, he's like just all around. It's like, his arms look like elastic, or like a rubber band, like they're not a rubber. It's so cool. And they play that song so perfectly. But yeah, the backstory behind this album wasn't like they got kicked out of their apartment, moved up to Seattle, just stayed in recording studio and just laid down a couple really depressing songs.
This was done in a week, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. This is another depressing EP, very dark, and I think Rotten Apple really expresses that. It really says, this is another dark, mellow shit here, man, that we got. This Rotten Apple, I think, is the most underrated Alice in Chains song. Boom. That song is just, like Sam said, it's very catchy. I love the guitar hook it has. It's so simple. Jerry Cantrell, he may not be the most technical guitarist, but he writes some of the greatest riffs and melodies I've ever heard. This just continues his amazing guitar work. Lyrically, this is also a dark EP.
10 out of 10 lyrics.
Oh yeah, the lyrics are amazing on this. Nutshell, I personally like the Unplugged version better, and we'll get to that. Although that is a great song still on this EP. No Excuses, that song makes me happy too. It's got a very nice vibe and just upbeat groove to it, but it's got some kind of depressing lyrics to it in a way. That's probably my favorite song on here. I mean, I know it's just said Rotten Apple is the most underrated song, but that's probably my second favorite on here. But this is just a great EP. It still just, it continues that darkness that Alice in Chains is falling into, or was falling into, especially with Wayne Staley and his drug addiction. It's very apparent. Just good EP. My favorite EP ever made. Produced and mixed by Toby Ted Trevor. Just want to say that.
Yeah, I think by far it's their most mellow, just like
Very relaxing.
sit outside and chill and listen to this and stuff, and probably drink whatever you do to this album. I remember another story about this. The name came from some experiment Jerry Cantrell did back in high school about like a jar of flies that had food or something, and a jar of flies that didn't have food, and the jar of flies that didn't have food started eating each other. Something along those lines, but this by far is the most mellow, down-to-earth, very straightforward but depressing album or EP of all time. One of the most. But I think overall it's very excellent, very excellent.
Nutshell is the most depressing song Alice in Chains ever wrote. I will say that. That's my opinion. Nice thoughts. This is Alice in Chains. Jar of Flies.
I think you better buy it.
I think you better buy it too. If there's 2 albums that I would suggest someone trying to get into Alice in Chains pick up, it's this and Dirt.
Yeah.
Like these are 2 just hallmarks in Alice in Chains' discography.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Song
stay
always reminds
away.
me of
Bro.
Rain for some reason.
Yes.
It's like
It's been Weekly Metal Reviews!